Hi everybody, Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, and this week's tip to help you grow your business is how would you like a quick and easy way to double your client base with one letter? Yep, that's right. One letter to double your client base. It's really easy. Now is the time of year when anybody that purchased a home last year needs to file for their homestead exemption. So so if you had your own buyer as the client, of course you're going to, should already be doing this, sending them a reminder of where and when and how to file for their homestead exemption on their property. The way to double your business is if you had the seller as the client at the closing table, there was still a buyer, right? So now send that buyer, you have their address because they moved into the listing you just sold, send that buyer the same information. They too need to file for homestead exemption. So send them the same information, what to file, when to file it, where to file it, how to contact the county, where it needs to be filed. Guess what? After the closing, all agency agreements terminate. So it's not that you're crossing a sign or anything like that. You are free to contact that client because it's no longer a client. You're free to contact that buyer who purchased the listing that you had listed. Great way to double your client base because the majority of agents fail to stay in touch with their past clients. So if you stay in touch with this buyer of your listing and send them that helpful information such as homestead exemption and put them into your database and then continually follow up with them as you follow up with all of your past clients, then when they hear of a referral, somebody that needs to buy or sell, who do you think they're going to send that referral to? More than likely you, because you have now stayed in touch with them. So just a great tip for that. Also, since last year we still closed using the HUD-1 settlement statement. Also, great idea for your sellers and the buyers as well, but especially a touch for your sellers. Send them a copy of the settlement statement from their closing because they are going to need it when they file their taxes this year for their 2015 taxes. So it's a great way, a great helpful tip of staying in touch with them, sending them a letter to the effect of, here's a copy of your settlement statement from your closing. You may have lost it in the move or so forth or so on. Just want to be helpful. I'm certain that your accountant will need it for your taxes this year. So ask your accountant how to use it, but here's another copy of it should you need it. And just a great way to stay in touch, great, helpful. It is a wonderful customer service item. And again, you want to maintain your in their awareness when they think about real estate and buying or selling, you want your name as an agent to come up. So that's just a great way to stay in touch with your own clients, double your database with one letter by quote unquote adopting the buyer of your listings that you sold, and then put them in your database to stay in touch. And I also suggest you do this as a letter. Don't send them an email. Everybody gets so many emails. Actually write it up as a letter and send them the letter. So how do you manage this? That seems like an awful lot of work. Easy way to manage it. From now on, for last year, you're just going to have to go back and do it from last year if you have not kept up with this. But from this point forward, every closing that you have this year, go ahead and write that homestead exemption letter and the settlement statement letter. Now, it's a little bit different this year because we have the two closing disclosures. We have the closing disclosure for the buyer prepared by the lender, and then we have the closing disclosure for the seller. So it's going to be a little bit different. But anyway, I would do the same thing. So after every closing that you have, you go back to your office, you copy the closing disclosure, you prepare this letter reminding them of homestead exemption, you type up your letter regarding all of this, stay in touch and asking for referrals and all of that type of information. You put it in an envelope, you put their address on the envelope, you put your return address label on there, Now you're going to wait for a stamp because stamps may go up in price, unless of course you buy a forever stamp. Then go ahead and stamp them and put them in a folder. Create a folder in your office that says homestead exemption and HUD letters. Well, it wouldn't be a HUD letter anymore, but closing exemption, sorry about that, homestead exemption and closing disclosure letters. Every time you have a closing, go ahead and prepare this, stick it in that folder, and every closing you do that, you do that, you do that. Then, towards the end of January, early February of every year, all you have to do is pull out this stack of envelopes. The letters are already done, the copies are already made, it's already stamped, and it already has a return address on there. And it's already addressed to them. So easy, great way to stay in touch. You will get business from this, I promise. And a lot of times, if you do as good a job as I know you can, you will get that client at some point in the future. They'll think that you were their agent for the original deal. They won't even realize that their own agent, their buyer's agent, was the one that represented them in the transaction. Unless, of course, that other agent is watching this video and doing the same thing. So just a helpful idea. Hope that helps you. I have linked below a letter for you that has all the counties, their contact information, and the filing date for homestead exemption. Feel free to cut and paste, copy that, put it on your own stationery with your own information on there and send it out. Again, great tip to double your client base with one easy letter and a great customer service to your clients. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Dana Sparks, broker of Maximum One Greater Atlanta Realtors, satisfying your needs with service, innovation, and education.